back to WWE 2K25, the Showcase mode, Bloodline Dynasty. All I'm going to say before we get into Heyman's speech, finally I am able to record this.
Any member of this family that enters the professional wrestling business knows about the expectations that are going to be on their back. They know about the prestige that their very name carries. They know that those who came before them have accomplished so much. Bearing the weight of those legacies can prove to be way too much for almost anyone. But that was never the case for Jimmy and Jay Uso. Jimmy and Jay Uso looked to be stars from the very start, constantly evolving their look, style, and offense as they progressed in their careers. Face paint and war dances would fade away, and the two would embrace the day one-ish mentality, looking to punish opponents and send them to the Uso penitentiary. The Usos are 8-time WWE Tag Team Champions. The Usos have main evented WrestleMania after initially fighting for a mere spot on the card. The Usos were the premier team of the 2010s. The Usos are the greatest team of all time. Jimmy and Jay are poetry in motion, each knowing what the other is looking to do next, each using every bit of savvy they gained growing up in professional wrestling to keep their edge. And sure, in recent years, it's been difficult between the two. Jimmy did cost Jay his match at SummerSlam against your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. After months of the anger building between the two, Jimmy and Jay ended up as the first two entrants in the 2024 Royal Rumble match, bringing things to a head. But even that moment wasn't enough to settle the issue, and so they would fight again at WrestleMania 40. Jay Uso truly became main event and found his inner yeet, even adding another tag team championship with Cody Rhodes as his partner. As your wise man eventually would suffer as well, Jimmy found himself betrayed by Solo Sikoa and unceremoniously dumped out of Solo's version of the Bloodline. When Jimmy and Jay are a tag team, they are pure art. They are the reason for the resurgence of tag team wrestling's popularity over the last 15 years. And perhaps, oh, perhaps, their grandest moment came during the 2017 Hell in a Cell, when they would lock horns with perhaps their greatest opposition ever, The New Day. From July to October of that year, the Smackdown tag team titles would change hands 4 times between the two teams, both looking for ultimate bragging rights. The Usos' connection as twins always gave them an upper hand with most teams, but the New Day had their own trick, utilizing the Freebird rule to allow any 2 of the 3 members to compete in any match. Jimmy and Jay could never know for sure who the opponents would be, with a different game plan needed for each iteration. With nothing clearly settled after 4 months, the New Day would offer to defend inside Hell in a Cell, and the Usos gladly accepted. We've seen the Usos showcase tag team wrestling at its most beautiful. Now we want you to showcase the brutality that exists within Hell in a Cell. Big E and Xaiver Woods are going to use everything at their disposal to take you down. But you've been down since day one. Now it's time to force the New Day to realize there's nothing wrong with them them being in second place. And there's nothing that's stopping you inside Hell in a Cell.
So to continue the story I started with, finally I was able to record this audio. It was a nightmare trying. I kept trying to get into the site, and for some reason, there was some hiccup with my computer. It just would not boot on. And after about, I think, an hour of like restarting it, be it a hard restart, a soft restart, I was restarting it, shutting it down for like 20 minutes. It got to the point where I think the computer just needed to like die. And once it finally fixed itself, the app, well, the editing software I used needed to update, and that took its sweet time updating. And then naturally my work gives me day shift. All I'm saying is I was trying to get this out on Wednesday, June 4th, 2025, and this sucker's probably not getting up until that Friday. Sonic will still go up on Sunday, hopefully, and the next WWE will still go up next Wednesday. So that's how we're gonna put it, like that. However, it's frustrating when this stupid computer doesn't want to work. Oh well. C'est la vie, live and learn. Whatever. Heyman covered the Usos. I ranted about my computer problems during the New Day's entrance, but the New Day, wrestling trio, it's now a duo in modern day, but in 2017, trio implementing Freebird rule, which, like he explained, it was created by the fabulous Freebirds down in the Texas territories during the Von Erichs, which was basically their way of letting any one of them defend the tag championships. Kind of your standard slimy heel tactics to get what they wanted, but that's what they had done, and they primarily were using Freebird rule in case someone got injured. I think that's the sole reason they started using Freebird rule, is Kofi was hurt, like he couldn't compete regularly, but so they're like, but he's the one who won the tag belt, so they're like, Freebird rule. But of course I think they called them New Day rules, because that's just what they do, is they just change the name of the faction, and now it's Freebird rule, and now it's this rule, but it's Freebird rule. New Day, one of the longest actually probably the longest tenured tag team in WWE currently, when they were founded in, I want to say 2014. Yeah, 2014, because they were not together in the WWE 2K14 game, but they were in 2K15. Was a faction that got up to a very rough start. They just kind of weren't liked by the crowd early on. They were chanting the phrase that New Day sucks to the collapse they were doing, and they eventually turned heel and went on a tear to become the, at the time, longest reigning tag team championships. It's now the Usos, and ringside combat tutorial. Get out of my face. Usos now the longest reigning tag titles. New Day held it first, and they actually defended the belts to get the longest reign. The Usos did against the New Day, which was actually a really cool match. This match itself was amazing, because it was just four guys who we've been working together for 6 months, and they told us, this is your match, have fun, like, this is it, make it or break it, and they brought it, and they made it. It was an insane match to watch. It was great. This was one of those matches I was on the edge of my seat. I've always been a Usos fan. I've never really been a New Day fan, but I do like the New Day. Like, I got nothing against the New Day. The current New Day, I'm kind of like iffy on, but I digress. They're still a good team, but heck, you can't really be a bad team and have 8 tag team championships. Yeah, it's the Usos. How many tag team titles have the New Day held now? Great, I'm losing my sanity once again. Okay. New Day Tag Team Championships. Let's figure this out together since I have plenty of time. And nothing primarily to do right now. I love Google. I love this post commentary. Let us see. Yeah, okay. Wikipedia, because I'm lazy. 5th ring. So they're on their 5th ring. So they've only been set this time. Not important. But yeah, I know currently. Oh yeah, so yeah, 2014, yeah. And they kicked Big E out recently, but that's because he had to retire due to a serious neck injury. Oh, bless his heart, but they were great. Okay, so you want to get technical. They have 13 tag team championships reigning, 7 Smackdown, 5 Raw/World, and 1 NXT. So technically 13, but kind of 5-time world tag team champions overall. But hey, and then yeah, Usos and New Day have always. It's kind of one of those things. They joke like the wrestling soulmates. Yeah, these 2 teams were wrestling soulmates to the point where about a year later, for WrestleMania 35. Yeah, 35. So yeah, that was the 28. No, 20. Anyhow, WrestleMania 35, where they had Kofi Mania trying to get Kofi his first and only WWE Championship reign, which was kind of a long time coming and somewhat deserved. I don't know, somewhat deserved sounds like he didn't deserve it. No, he deserved it. He earned every bit of it, but it just might have been one of those that came at the wrong time. Had it come 5 years earlier, it'd be a whole different ballgame. Where to get it, the New Day had to run a gauntlet against all the other SmackDown tag teams. They get to the Usos, and the Usos said, "Get yourself some water, boys. You hydrated? Good, we forfeit. Peace. Good luck, Kof." And it's like, what? People were expecting more. The Usos said, "Nah, get your hydration up, and we gonna see you in like 2-3 weeks when he's got that belt, and we gonna be celebrating with you." So yeah.
Jey Uso set outside the ring, and now the New Day on the attack. Big E, as aggressive as I've ever seen him here tonight. And Xavier Woods now with toys, kendo sticks in hand.
And it's about to get more aggressive, more vicious, more barbaric.
I'm sorry, is Kofi? I am kind of surprised they got like the raw audio from the match of Kofi like screaming out, "Going to jail, Oos, going to jail, Oos," which, alright, that's actually kind of cool. No! Ah well, we already know I'm winning this match. Kind of have to win to move on. But no, these cutscenes have always been cool. I liked 2K22 and 23 when they did a John Cena and actually they did a Rey Mysterio in 22, John Cena Showcase in 23, where they actually showed you the raw footage of the matches they had. there wasn't any commentary, but it was kind of a looping instrumental, but you at least got to see the cool moments from the match, which I liked that better, personally. I'm not sure why they didn't do it for this, but hey, budget cuts, am I right? Nah. So, where else can I go about this with the Usos in the New Day? Not really a whole heck of a lot. I mean, Xaiver Woods, it's kind of really funny seeing him now, because I remember when I was younger, I was watching him as a Consequences Creed in TNA/Impact Wrestling when he teamed with Jay Lethal as of Lethal Consequences for a while. That was weird, like putting that connection together. And also, if you're a fan of his YouTube channel, Awesome Creed, that's, yeah, his, yeah, that was his original name, was like Awesome Creed, Consequences Creed, later on, but he's always, and that's his whole Rocky fan base. So yeah, he is a true Rocky fanatic, according to multiple interviews and such I've seen, where even like his gear when he was Consequences Creed had the Apollo Creed style gear. Cool gear, great looking gear, and a ton of fun. But I would definitely say some of my favorite matches with Xaiver Woods when he wasn't in WWE was definitely someone he was teaming with Jay Lethal. There was one, it was Ultimate X, and it was like him. No, that's right, it was an escape match. You had him being Creed, Jay Lethal, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, and I think Amazing Red, and they were fighting for the X Division Championship. That actually might be Ultimate X instead, now that I'm thinking about it. But it was just this crazy match. Bodies were flying everywhere, and they tore the house down, showing off what the X Division was truly about in TNA. Creed didn't win. It was won by Amazing Red. But, hey, a good match is a good match regardless who wins. So, that's just my personal opinion. I would much rather watch a good match that it's like, I cannot believe this happened, over watching a match that's just kind of, whatever, could take it or leave it. But, let's just cane this poor man. Yep. Outgunned and out. He's just getting like, oh yeah, this was when they handcuffed him. Right. Because they didn't show that in the flipping game that they cuffed him. I thought he dodged that in the... Alright. Clearly I'm gonna have to rewatch this match. Oh no, poor pitiful me having to rewatch a match that I really enjoyed. But I thought he dodged the kendo stick and they hit each other, but I can't say too much. But this is going to be about it for this one, because we're going to do a quick splashy splash. And 1, 2, 3. Ball game! Yay, go Usos, even though we already knew that was happening. And they were on a bender defending these belts for a while after that. But man, was this a good match. This game doesn't do it justice, I'll tell you that much right now. But yeah, the game was just kind of a nice, here's an abridged version. So yeah, like I said, next week, well, Sunday we got episode 12 of Sonic Colors, which actually should be wrapping up within the next month and a half at most. And then you've got next Wednesday, hopefully, the next match in the showcase, which is looking to be Naomi versus